The 5 cents, commonly known as the Jefferson nickel, is a classic and historically interesting coin from the early 1960s United States coinage, struck at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small D mint mark located on the reverse to the right of Monticello. This coin belongs to the long-running Jefferson nickel series that began in 1938 and was designed by Felix Schlag, whose winning design replaced the earlier Buffalo nickel, making the Jefferson nickel one of the most familiar and longest-used designs in American numismatic history, and the obverse of the 1963 D mint mark nickel proudly features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, with the word Liberty clearly visible on the right side of the portrait along with the date 1963. While Jefferson's calm and dignified expression reflects the classical artistic style of U.S. coinage, the reverse side displays Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home, with the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 5 cents, all arranged in a balanced and symmetrical layout that remained mostly unchanged for decades. Composition-wise, the 1963 D nickel is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a durable structure and a weight of 5.00 grams, a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, and a plain, smooth edge, which distinguishes it from reeded coins like dimes and quarters. Historically, the year 1963 is significant because it falls just before major changes in U.S. coinage caused by rising metal prices and nationwide coin shortages of the mid-1960s. And although nickels did not switch to cheaper metals like silver coins did, production numbers were still very high to meet public demand, with the Denver Mint striking approximately 276 million 1963 D nickels, making it a common coin in circulation but still very popular among collectors, especially beginners and Jefferson nickel enthusiasts. In terms of value, a 1963 D nickel in circulated condition is generally worth face value, 5 cents, but examples in uncirculated condition mint state can range from a few cents to several dollars depending on preservation, luster, and strike quality, while high-grade coins, MS-65 and above, with sharp details and strong original shine, are more desirable and may command higher prices in the numismatic market. Collectors also pay attention to details such as strike strength on Monticello, clarity of steps, known as full steps, and overall surface quality, as coins with well-defined steps are scarcer and significantly more valuable. Culturally, the 1963 D mint mark Jefferson nickel represents everyday American life during a period of social change, economic growth, and historical transition in the United States, making it not just a monetary object but also a small piece of living history, and even though it is not a rare coin, it holds educational value for collectors, students, and history lovers who appreciate U.S. coinage as a reflection of national identity, craftsmanship, and heritage, which is why the 1963 D 5 cents Liberty coin continues to be collected, studied, and admired more than 60 years after it was next top to. The 1964 5 cents coin of the United States, widely known as the Jefferson nickel, is one of the most historically important and heavily produced coins in American numismatic history, and the example with no mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use mint marks on nickels during this period. This coin belongs to the Jefferson nickel series that began in 1938, designed by Felix Schlag, whose artwork replaced the Buffalo nickel and introduced a more formal and presidential style to U.S. 5-cent coinage, and on the obverse of the 1964 nickel appears a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, rendered in a calm and classical manner, with the word Liberty clearly visible to the right of Jefferson's profile and the date 1964 positioned nearby, symbolizing American ideals of freedom and democratic heritage. The reverse side features Monticello, Jefferson's famous plantation home in Virginia, shown with strong architectural detail, and surrounded by the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 5 cents, a design that had become deeply familiar to the American public by the 1960s. The coin is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighs 5.00 grams, measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter, and has a plain edge, giving it durability and a distinct metallic tone that differs from silver coinage of the same era. The year 1964 is extremely significant in U.S. coin history because it marks the last full year before major changes in American coinage metals and designs, as rising silver prices and widespread coin shortages led the U.S. Mint to dramatically increase production, and as a result, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 1,028,622,762 1964 Jefferson nickels, making it one of the highest mintage coins ever produced by the United States. Due to this massive production, the 1964 no-mint mark nickel is very common in circulated condition, and most examples found today show signs of wear from decades of use in everyday commerce. In terms of value, circulated specimens are generally worth face value 5 cents, while uncirculated coins may range from a small premium to a few dollars depending on luster, surface quality, and strike sharpness. and coins graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services are more desirable to collectors. A particularly important factor for collectors is the presence of full steps on Monticello, referring to the clearly defined steps at the base of the building, as sharply struck full steps examples are much scarcer and can be worth significantly more than ordinary strikes. Historically and culturally, the 1964 Jefferson nickel represents a turning point in American economic history, reflecting public hoarding, metal price pressures, and the government's response to maintaining circulating coinage. And even though it is not rare, it is highly educational and symbolic, making it a favorite among beginner collectors, historians, and coin enthusiasts who appreciate its connection to Thomas Jefferson, America, and the final chapter of traditional U.S. coin production before sweeping changes reshaped the nation's money system, ensuring that the 1964 5-cent Liberty, no mint mark, coin remains an enduring and meaningful piece of American numismatic heritage. Next, top 3. The 1979 5-cent coin of the United States, commonly called the Jefferson nickel, with no mint mark, was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which by tradition used no mint mark on nickels at that time, and this coin belongs to the long-running Jefferson nickel series that began in 1938, making it one of the most recognizable and continuously used designs in American coinage history. The obverse of the 1979 nickel features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and a central figure in American democracy, with the word Liberty clearly visible on the right side of Jefferson's profile and the date 1979 placed near it, reflecting the clean and familiar design style that had remained largely unchanged for decades. The reverse side displays Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia, shown with its neoclassical architecture, and is surrounded by the inscriptions United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and 5 cents, reinforcing national identity and the value of the coin. In terms of physical specifications, the 1979 no mint mark Jefferson nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighs 5.00 grams, has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, and features a plain edge, a composition chosen for strength and longevity, allowing the coin to withstand heavy circulation. Historically, the year 1979 falls into the post-silver era of U.S. coinage, when the nation had already transitioned away from precious metals in circulating coins, and the Jefferson nickel had become a stable and essential part of everyday commerce, used widely for vending machines, public transportation, and small transactions across the country. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 160 million 1979 nickels, ensuring ample supply for circulation, which makes this coin very common today, because of its high mintage. The 1979 no mint mark nickel is usually worth face value, 5 cents, in circulated condition, but examples in uncirculated or mint state condition can carry a modest premium, particularly those with strong original luster and minimal surface marks. Collectors also pay close attention to the strike quality of Monticello, especially the steps leading up to the building, known as full steps, as nickels with fully defined steps are far scarcer and significantly more desirable in the numismatic market. While the 1979 Jefferson nickel is not considered rare, it holds steady appeal for collectors completing date and mint sets, beginner numismatists learning grading skills, and historians interested in late 20th century American coinage. Culturally and historically, this coin represents everyday American life during a period of economic change, technological growth, and modernization, and it reflects how U.S. coin designs prioritize durability, familiarity, and national symbolism, ensuring that the 1979 5 cents Liberty, no mint mark, coin remains a meaningful and educational piece of American monetary history even decades after its release. Next, top 4. The 1989 5 cents coin of the United States, widely known as the Jefferson nickel, bearing the P mint mark, was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and this detail is especially notable because the use of the P mint mark on nickels is relatively modern, having first appeared in 1980, making the 1989 P issue part of the later phase of the classic Jefferson nickel design that had been in continuous use since 1938. The obverse of the 1989 P nickel features the familiar left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and a key figure in American political philosophy, with the word Liberty clearly visible to the right of Jefferson's profile and the date 1989 placed nearby, maintaining the traditional layout that Americans had recognized for decades, while the overall engraving reflects the clean, machine-produced precision typical of late 20th century U.S. mint output. The reverse side displays Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia, rendered with balanced architectural detail, and surrounded by the inscriptions United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and 5 cents, reinforcing both the coin's national identity and its monetary value. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1989 P Jefferson nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighs 5.00 grams, has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, and features a plain edge, a durable composition designed to endure heavy circulation in everyday transactions. Historically, The year 1989 sits at the closing decade of the 20th century, a period marked by economic globalization, technological progress, and increased efficiency in coin production, and by this time the Jefferson nickel had become a stable and trusted component of U.S. currency, used extensively in vending machines, transportation systems, and daily retail exchanges. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 351 million 1989p nickels, making this issue very common in circulation and readily available to collectors. Because of its high mintage, the 1989p nickel in circulated condition is generally worth face value, 5 cents, but uncirculated examples with strong luster and minimal contact marks can command a modest premium, especially those graded in higher mint state levels by professional grading services. An important factor for collectors is the presence of full steps on Monticello, referring to the sharply defined steps at the base of the building, as coins with full, uninterrupted steps are much scarcer and significantly more valuable than typical strikes. While the 1989p Jefferson nickel is not rare, it holds solid appeal for collectors assembling complete date and mint sets, beginners learning grading standards, and historians interested in late 20th century American coinage. And culturally, it represents everyday American life during a time of transition from traditional manufacturing to a more technology-driven economy, ensuring that the 1989p 5-cent Liberty coin remains a meaningful and educational piece of U.S. numismatic history.